Welcome to Q&A, Social Security Disability Today. This program is brought to you by the Reeves Law Firm, representing you and your Social Security and disability needs. If you have a problem or questions regarding Social Security and disability, call attorney Anthony Reeves. Here's your host, attorney Anthony Reeves.
Make sure you research every possibility for treatment. Okay, I want you to listen to a few things here. And I have a few points on this. I got to get you to follow this. First of all, you have to prove you're disabled. I cannot even say that any louder or any clearer. I've said this a million times. You bear the burden of proving you're disabled. It is not Social Security's responsibility to prove that you're disabled. That's on you. So it is important that you do the things that you need to do in order to prove you're disabled. So that means what? Getting medical treatment for your condition. Do not be shy about that. Secondly, investigate every resource and get proof if you can't use it. When people come to me and say, well, I can't get medical treatment, I don't have any insurance, I go down my laundry list. I say, do you go to the health department? Well, no. Have you checked out charities? Well, no. Have you looked to see if there's any free clinics in your area? Well, no. Have you contacted the county to see if there's any resources available? No. I've heard 4 no's so far. So guess what happens? I'm over here representing your interests, and I'm asking you these things. And of course, then I'm going to start telling you need to look to A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? But guess what? When the court is in front of a judge, when you're in front of a judge and the judge is asking you, have you gone to these things? They're going to say, well, wait a minute, you bear the burden of proving you're disabled. How are you not using these things to get yourself the medical treatment, to demonstrate the treatment that you're getting for your medical condition to show that you're disabled? And all of a sudden I get silence. I mean, complete silence. Investigate it. And a lot of times people want to come into hearings and say, oh, I went to this place, and they turned me down. Do you have proof of that? Well, they wouldn't get, no. It's not about what they did. You have to prove you're disabled. So guess what? If you went to the health department and they said you don't qualify, get something in writing. If you contacted a charity, get something in writing. If you contacted the county, get something in writing. If you went to the free clinic, get something in writing. So that when you go to the court, you can say, I have tried all these places. And they're like, no, not no, but hell no. So that's another way you can show that you have availed yourself of every opportunity to get treatment to show that you're disabled. Third step, be careful about saying, I got to read this one. Be careful about saying, I can't afford health care if you haven't even applied for health care under the Affordable Health Care Act. Listen to this very carefully. The Affordable Care Act is a long, complex piece of legislation that attempts to reform the healthcare system by providing more Americans with affordable, quality health insurance and curb the growth in healthcare spending in the United States. The whole premise of the Affordable Care Act was to ensure that the persons like yourself, have access to affordable health care. I have said this a million times to people. When people come to me and they said, I can't get insurance, the first thing I said, have you applied under the Affordable Care Act? If I hear a no, then you didn't get a whole lot of leg to stand on. If they've applied yes and they say, well, the threshold amount they ask is too high, print out a copy of that and keep that handy. You want to be able to demonstrate to Social Security. You want to be able to demonstrate that you've availed yourself of that. And then here's my final point. I can't say this any clearer. Especially if you're going to a judge in your jurisdiction. Some judges appear via video out of a different area, but most judges you're going to have to deal with in your area. The judges are aware of the resources in your communities. Well, what does that mean? That's a nice way of me telling you that you can't blow smoke up a judge's backside by telling them what you can't get access to when they know what you do have access to. Let me give you a good example. Let's say you're over the age of 55 and you're saying, I can't get any treatment. No, I can't get treatment. I'm going to tell you, have you applied for the Affordable Care Act? Well, no. Have you contacted the health department? We live in an area where there's a federally funded health department, at least the county that I primarily serve. And meaning you don't have to necessarily be in this county. You can come from any county. Have you availed yourself of them? Well, yeah, because they'll give you a share of cost card, which is basically a card that tells you what you're responsible for in excess of the normal, the normal, visiting fee, copay, whatever the copay, because it's like a sliding scale. So like what you do is you pay for the office visit, which is like $20, and then anything above that sliding scale of 0% or 100% is what you're responsible for. So if your sliding scale is 0%, you pay for $20 and then that's it. But then if it's 100%, that means it's $20 for the doc, and then whatever thing he requires you to do, you got to pay that in its entirety. Have you done that? Oh, well, no. There is an organization called the Council on Aging that provides a lot of great resources as well as access to doctors for those persons in a particular age group, typically over 55. Have you availed yourself of that? Well, no. Well, what about these typical churches? There's 2 or 3 churches that I know of. Well, no. I've just named 4 to 5 different resources that the judges, when I've gone through, have actually literally said, have you gone? And they called them by name. So what does that mean to you? Well, that means to you that when you sit here, and I know what happens, you stop working, you're not getting any medical insurance. So now you're in a whole different body of water in terms of researching what you actually need in terms of how you can get medical treatment. I tell people, be advised, look at everything in your area. Try to get access to everything to your area. Make sure you apply under the Affordable Care Act. And more importantly, be advised. Don't think that you can just roll into court and tell the court that you can't get access to anything, because a lot of times those judges know exactly what you have access to. So if you haven't even tried to get access to them, it doesn't help your case very much. Keep in mind, everybody's cases are on a case-by-case basis. So I don't want anybody saying, well, Attorney Reeves, you're saying because I didn't even try to go down there, I'm going to lose? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this: you have to prove you're disabled. Utilize every resource to your advantage. Don't let something ticky-tack like not trying to find or utilize something in your area hurt your case. My responsibility is to help give you information to help you strengthen your case. Don't do anything to hurt it.